Hi, this is Bonnie, and I am still creating with the new release, and I am using EveningField, and from EveningField paper, I have chosen to use this piece, and it tends to have more of a darker color to it and gray. So I'm really excited about using this piece. And then the other things I'm going to be using, and I've already used this one. This was a sentiment from Fairy Hugs from the new release. It's called Three Things. I am also going to be using the Dancing Bees. And I'm going to be using the Heart Twig Arches. It's a little bit different than the heart ones that I had before. It still has a little bit of the hearts in it, but this also has some swirls, and it will create an arch, which is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up and show you what we're going to do. Okay, so I want to add a sentiment, and I want to use a hexagon to go with the bee theme. And the sentiment that I had picked will not fit into the space that I want to use, so I am using about, or allow yourself instead. That's what I'm using. It's called allow yourself, because that fits inside of the hexagon that I want to use. And I'm also going to be heat embossing this, so I am going to be using the powder, that powder on there a second, so that the embossing powder will stay where I want it to. So let's go ahead and put this on. And I am actually doing the hexagon this way so the points are to the side. And it looks like I need to move my tape there. Well, let's see here, maybe I can move that over just a little bit and still center it. Yep, that will work. I still think I might move that tape a little bit. All right. Hopefully it will still stick with that powder. Alrighty, and I'm going to use, it really doesn't matter what ink I use as long as I have my embossing powder on it. So I'm just using my black Nocturne ink. I know that it does a good job at holding, being wet. Alright, and then right away I'm going to go ahead and put that gold embossing powder on it. And what I am going to use is something I've had in my stash for a little while, and that is a Novo Fine Detail, because I like the fine detail, and it is the classic gold. So I'm going to go ahead, oh, I can see it on there fairly well too because of the powder. So I'm going to get my paper and just show you really quickly how that's going to look. So you can see I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss that. Okay, so I know I'm going to be putting the sentiment here. So I want to put the arches on each side of the sentiment. And I know it's going to overlap it just slightly, but that's okay, because I just like it that way. So I'm going to put one on each side. It's kind of sticking. Okay. That's where that's going to go. And I'm going to be using the Nocturne. And that worked out really well. And then I'm going to use the other side of the arch on the other side of the sentiment. I just want to make sure I've got that balanced as best I can. Put a piece of paper over there. Okay. And again, like I said, there are hearts on this arch as well that I will probably go ahead and color in with the, trying to get that lined up as best I can. Color in with my pencils. Alright, so like I said, my sentiment will then go right here in the center, and that will work out really well for that part. Now the next part I want to do is I want to try something different. I want to randomly stamp the bees all up here. And so keeping this in mind where my sentiment's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and put the magnet on top of that, I think, just to keep it in place. I'm going to start putting my little bees all over the place. I think this bee is going to hold on to that right there. I need to grab my little bees. Okay. And that one is right here, and I can actually see that because I've stamped that one. So you can see how he's holding on to that little bit right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the Nocturne. That worked out really well. And let's see how we're going to do some of these other ones. I know this one's kind of diving down and he needs to come in that direction, but I also want to keep in mind about the other three. So I think I'm going to put this guy right there at the top of the sentiment. And like I said, he always looks like he's waving high. But I want him to be, I might have to move my sentiment. I want to hold that down as best I can. It's a little bit, sentiment's keeping it going up. Well, we'll just move the sentiment a minute. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Back. And again, I'm going to keep this here just so that I know how I want to put the rest of them. It just helps me visually see. Okay. And let's see here. All right, I did the one that's waving high. And I'm going to get this one coming down, but I also need a place for this guy. I think he can stand. I think he can kind of stand right there. I think that'll be okay. Or he could come down here a little bit like he's hanging on to that one. Because I have one more. Let's just put some of these on and I'll get a better idea. All right. It's kind of hard to really do it with the acetate because, and they could be just flying. This guy could really come over here, or he could be going the other direction, talking to him. Let's see. I kind of like it need to be balanced a little bit, so let's just keep it that way. I don't think they'll work down at the bottom. I could have thought about that earlier, and that would have been nice too, but he needs to come flying down, I think, even though that one's there. Yeah, I think I like him there. So I don't know if I'm going to be -1. We'll see. Or these guys could really be standing on the same one. I don't know why not. That guy come down there. Or I might do something so that they don't have to. Let's just see. It's a decision. I think I'm going to do the flying one first. That might help me figure out how I want to do these. I think they're going to go like that. I think that's the way they're going to go. Yep, we're going to go like that. He might slide in a little bit. He does need to look like he's standing on that. That's okay. All right, let's get them stamped. That'll help me figure out if I want to do anything different. I think I know what I'm going to do. Okay. Make sure they're stamped good. Yep. Oh, he needs a little bit more pressure. I think he needs a little bit more ink. He's the only one. Okay, he looks good. So let's just think about how else. Oh, I could really have him, he could be carrying the hearts, but that's a little bit too big. So we're not going to do that for him. I want to see how it would look if I did add these to the top. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Just needs something up there filling up that space. And I think that'll work. Okay, well, that might not be able to be there. So let's check that out. I think that needs to go down a little bit. And of course I just misplaced my paper. There it is. So yeah, I think that works really well. I can take that out. All right. It's not the same one. Well, I have it backwards. It does make a difference if you have it backwards. Oh, I have the, I used the wrong arches. There we go. And that tells you too, you can use either one of, we have the 2 sets of arches in this release, and either one would really work well. Let's see if I can do that without that moving the paper. Yep. All right, I'm going to still use the same nocturne. All right, not sure, I might add a little bit to here too. Let's just look, get that view. Whoops. See what the view looks like if we want to add some right here, and I think I would. So I will use the other arch wherever I put that. Well, there it is. Here we go. And I think I'm just going to put a little bit right there. And that works around all of our little guys. Okay. So I think this paper works really good with this concept. I really like the black and the gray together, and it just looks really super. And then with our little sentiment added on the hexagon. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on, and then we'll do some coloring in. Okay, so first I'm just going to go ahead and glue this. I'm just going to directly glue this down. I'm not going to do anything special. Sometimes I add foam tape, but in this case I'm just going to keep it so that it's flat. And we're going to get that so that the little bee right there is stepping on that. And that looks pretty good that way. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead, that's pretty simple. And now we're going to go ahead and color in the hearts on these branches here, arches. And I am just using processed red and finding all the little hearts to color them in. That just gives us a little pop of color. Just double check. Sometimes I know when I'm looking through my camera and the side I miss some. I think oh, this might be one. I think I got a lot of them. Okay. The other thing is some of these little curlicues are cute too. You can actually color those in too if you wanted more color. But I'm just going to do the hearts. So just have a little bit of red. And I think that works. Oh, we got some at the top. Let me get that down. And it's kind of nice, these arches can be used in different directions. They don't have to be just vertical, they can be horizontal. Okay, I think I've got all those. And so then the next thing I like to do is color in the wings. And okay. Oops. Get the one up here. And I'm just going to, that was aquamarine. And then I'm going to use a light green. It's actually, that's what it's called, light green. And just going to color those in to finish them off. And then, like what you saw in another video when I did the wings, I always add some of the hologram glitter paint. And I'll do that like I did in the previous videos. And I will also add the gold glitter gel pen to the bees' bodies. And I think we'll be pretty much done with that. So let me go ahead and do that really quickly, just in case you haven't seen the video with me doing any of the wings. And I misplaced my Looks like I misplaced my, oh there it is. I thought I misplaced my favorite paintbrush, but I didn't. So we're just going to go ahead and color these in, and then they'll be all glittery. And like I said in my other videos, this glitter paint does not shed glitter. So that's one of the reasons I like it. And because it's in a paint container, it doesn't get clogged. So several reasons why I love this paint. It is acrylic based, so it's water based rather. And so if you use anything else with it that is water based, it will change it out a little bit. Not a lot. But I noticed that I cannot add my gold gel pen. It will kind of dilute it if it's wet. If you wait till it dries and you add the gold glitter on top, it works better. The other thing you could do, I can see that, you know, all these little circles, you could add either the glitter to those, or you could also add the gold glitter pen if you wanted even more, if you want to tie in that gold. But the bees will tie in the gold to the embossing sentiment, embossed heated sentiment. It'll tie all that together. So all the colors will go together really well. So I'll get my gold gel pen. Oh, I forgot to show you the paint. I've showed it in all my videos. This is a folk art, and it's a extreme glitter paint, and it's really hologram, but they don't have any information on this one. On my old bottle it did, because I've gone through a whole bottle. Okay, so for the bees' bodies, again, I'm just using, here, let's get a little closer, and you can see what I'm doing. You can already see the glitter on all the wings. So all I'm doing is coloring in these stripes with a gold glitter. You could even color it with any color you want. Even the pencil colors. They'd be cute, even with pink bodies, I think. So I think these are adorable. But I just do. I like them. I love these little bees. All right, we'll get the other side. I know that you will love getting this collection. It just kind of makes you happy. Okay. So that's our card. It didn't really take all that long. It's pretty easy card to do. And you get to even use, if you have a hexagon in your stash, that would work great. Or you can just stamp it on if you want to. But I thought that paper, the new paper works really well to complement the black stamping. So I'll have all the information in the description below. I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much.